Hi everybody and welcome to River City Knits. I'm Elisa.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Enid.
And we have with us today Deborah.
Hey. What's that?
Deborah lives in the Austin area and is in San Antonio today. And
we stole her.
Yeah, we said you have to stay here.
Yeah.
So, and knit and then chat and be part of our podcast. So we're really excited to have a special guest today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've got Amanda back too, which is awesome.
Hi guys, I haven't seen y'all in forever. Well,
So-
more appropriately, y'all haven't seen me.
So we're really excited for all of us to be together and having a special guest today. So it's kind of cool. We'll get started. Do we want to talk about any finished objects?
We'll have one.
Or cast-ons. Or cast-ons.
I have
You
both
have
of those.
both.
I have both of those. Oh. I'm losing things all over the place. So I am the last to finish. I'm Marcel
I don't
Shawl.
think you're the last.
I don't think you have the last.
I'm the last of us three.
Of the three of us, yeah.
Okay.
But it's done. Yay. And it's gigantic. It's huge. Huge.
I love the way it feels.
I know.
It drapes really nice.
Right.
That's that yak yarn.
Oh,
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
yak because it's so
That's so
lightweight.
soft.
It's drapey.
It's super drapey.
It's really
The
drapey.
socks that I did last month were with yak, and now I'm like obsessed.
So I blocked it last night, just so that I would have it ready for
And
today.
it grew.
It grew tremendously. I did block it very aggressively, and I recorded it, my blocking, and Elisa recorded hers. And so those will either be at the end of this episode or in their separate standalone type episode.
We'll let Enid do her magic. So
She can do what she wants. But this is done, and I'm really happy because it was a slog. And I realized that I used the wrong size needle. So running out of yarn, and it's way bigger than it should be because I'm a dork. And I didn't check my needle size.
So this is your yarn that
This
you
is
knit
my
with.
yarn. My tumbleweed yarn in Tidal Pool and Middle Earth.
Nice.
And then I'm taking that same colorway, and I, like everybody else in the human world, have cast on Tegna.
Yay!
And I'm almost through the lace section here because I needed to cast on another sweater since I have half of a sleeve left on my weekender to be done. So instead of finishing that, I'll just start something new.
And this one's from
I
the
like
top up, right? That's what you're telling me earlier.
This one is from the bottom up.
Oh, bottom up.
Bottom up.
Excuse me. That's
Right.
right. I totally said it backwards.
The weekender was bottom up as well, in pieces, and this is not in pieces. No, that one was all in around too.
That's what I did with my chick pulley. I have some sleeves to do.
Yes,
Let's
I
start
get
something
bored.
Wow, 2 sleeves.
So, but I did actually swatch. Here's the proof. For those of you that know me, I say that I never swatch, and that's true 95% of the time. I probably should have swatched that, and I would have realized that I had the wrong size needle.
Never say never.
But I
Hence
did
your
swatch
proof.
my sweater and a leftover of that other color. So, the drapiness, I know I've talked about this before, but none of us really like to swatch, I don't think. And so we tend to get lazy with it. So in order to make sure that you get your proper gauge, you need to wash it and block it. And you're looking for the drape of your 4x4. Not just that you have the correct number of stitches, but do you like the way the fabric looks? So if you don't like it, it's too tight, it's too dense, it's too loose, then it's time to change that stuff up. So it's not necessarily getting the gauge that's right for the pattern, it's getting the fabric that you want your final product to be in. So that's my little PSA for today.
Especially when you have a blended yarn, too.
Well, and it's, and I'm guilty of it just as anybody else. I look at my gauge. I don't want to waste the yarn for the
On the
gauge
needles?
because I don't know that I'm going to do it. And so I do it, and I do it on the needles, and I don't have it stretched out properly, and it's not blocked, and it's not, it's not washed. All the yarns are different when they're washed, knitted up and washed.
I
I just measure it out, and then I'm like, oh, good.
It
and
looks
then
great. It matches.
Comes out horrible, and you go, oh, why didn't this fit?
Why is
like
this
2
10 feet
sizes.
across?
Why is that 10 feet across?
Yeah.
Like, I could, I don't know, clothe a family of small children in that.
It'll be very cozy.
But I think this one came out bigger, right?
Yours?
This is wider. Mine is longer.
But your yarn is bigger, too. My yarn is
bulky.
finer.
Mm-hmm.
Your yarn is bulkier, so that has some to do,
I don't
because
remember
you have a denser, larger fabric.
I don't remember what needle I used.
What blends are in yours, Enid? In the gray? Do you
This
remember?
gray's an alpaca.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is that cashmere,
That's right.
the common threads.
Mhm.
It's got cashmere in it.
Yeah, mine, all of it is an alpaca mix. You can see the little halo in it with it too.
And I think it's all 100% alpaca.
That looks like 100%.
I got
It's very fluffy.
I got it a million years ago.
There's something on my shawl.
250 grams.
I don't know what that is.
And I don't recommend doing an I-cord bind off for approximately 400 stitches.
It looks beautiful though.
Does
It looks really nice, but
It's a 3-hour tour.
that was
Yeah.
a mistake. I mean, it
I don't think
has a
it's a
good
mistake.
nice, but it took me about 3 hours to do it.
It's traumatizing, but I don't think it's a mistake.
But you know, when you get to weaving that in, you just kind of shoot it down through the middle and clip it off, and you're
Yeah.
done. I mean,
That's
that
nice.
has some
That's
satisfaction
nice.
to it.
Yeah. The beauty of an I-cord bind off.
It's really nice, but I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, this was a lot of bind off stitches.
A lot about like you're binding off for days.
Yeah.
So.
Deborah, do you want to share with us what you're working on?
Sure. Let me just make it fall off.
Yeah, don't let it fall. Not a good thing.
But in a minute, y'all are holding her down, and I'm taking the bag.
Yes, look at her bag. It's super cute.
It's so cute.
So this bag is from Shop SoFlo. She's out of Florida. She's on Etsy, and she has a website, soflo.com.
Shout out.
She's awesome. I think I have 4 bags from her out of my 5 bags that I own. So
I think 3 of them are here.
The fabric,
3 of them are here.
the inside is stars.
Yes.
It's like
little
flowers.
Oh my god,
Yeah, you probably can't see it.
so
but-
cute.
We'll do a close-up Photoshop.
Little reproduction.
Yeah.
But I'm
Flowers.
working on, oh my goodness, the the Waiting for Rain shawl.
That's pretty.
And she has, when you get the pattern, it comes with a hack for 2 colors. So that's what I'm doing. I have, 3 out of 4 lace sections. I think I have 1 more lace section. 2 more. I have this garter section, 1 more lace section, and then the final garter section and the bind off. So
And what's cool is the lace is also short row lace.
yes. Which is really nice because when I got to about the 300 stitch mark, I said to myself, why am I knitting a shawl that has 300 stitches? That's garter stitch for half of it. But the lace section, this one was like 100 stitches across, and I'm not sure what the next one is. Something like that. I think it's more. But then it shrinks down to...
Short rows.
Yeah.
Short row magic.
And there's no wrapping and turning, so that's really nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you picking up the thing on the bottom? How are you doing it?
Yeah, I was like, how do you do that then?
You
just
don't
leave 'em?
do anything. You just
Maybe 'cause
leave
it's
it, and I
lace.
don't know.
I love
I
those
think you just
patterns.
can't tell.
It's garter.
You just turn and go.
Like you turn
it's
and
so
you do a
beautiful.
stockinette row, and it doesn't seem to show. So
I love
Down
that.
with that.
yeah,
I can stand
So
behind that.
Deborah got her yarn from an indie dyer from the New Braunfels area, I guess.
yeah.
Which is a town between San Antonio and Austin.
Como se llama?
Wool tree yarn.
Wooltree. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, Linda.
So, and they do a natural dyed yarn. So that's what
Yes.
makes, I think, the colors just even more beautiful.
Yeah.
It took me a while to
That's
register. I'm like, it's Linda.
Yes.
Linda's in, no, she's in Rwanda right now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
She's working with the hand spun for hope or hand spun hope. doing some really cool stuff there. Teaching.
She's there with some other people, isn't she?
She's teaching women how to knit. I think she's taken some weaving looms, some spinning wheels. She took a carder last time she went up there, so is teaching them how to process their wool. I think I'd like to have her one day so she can kind of talk about this project that she's doing. That would be cool.
It's a really amazing project. She and Elizabeth have been doing it for several years at least.
I don't know if Elizabeth went this year with her.
Okay.
She went with somebody else. But she said they've changed from when she first went to the second. This is, I think, her third time going. But from the first visit to the second visit, she saw the difference that they made. Because they were like really, when they were processing their wool, they were really beating the heck out of it. And they ended up with this kind of rough felty mass.
Right.
Then spinning it. And so she had to kind of figure out how to verbalize in their language, you know, we're going to treat this a little differently. It's got to be gentle so that you don't felt the yarn because it's, you know, that kind of...
Right, you're not banging out a pair of blue jeans.
Right. So she says it's amazing the change. They actually took the information and made it work. And so their product is a better product now. It's pretty cool. And now they're expanding, so they're weaving things and they're knitting. She taught them how to knit. A couple of groups how to knit. I think Davidoff went with her last year.
Oh, yes, she did.
So I don't know who went with her this year, but it's really cool. I think I've talked to her about her coming onto the show and doing a little something with her. So maybe we'll in the future.
We should definitely.
Linda's a shop owner. That would be really cool. Linda owns Lucky You Yarn in New Braunfels. So that'd be really cool if we could have her. So actually in her shop, she sells some of the products that the women have created in Rwanda. So she has a little corner in the shop for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what advances and progressions that these women have made. It's cool. It's really, really cool.
Okay, what else? What's going on?
Well, we were talking about blocking, and Amanda and I, both of the same mind, brought some of our blocking materials with us.
We did. We seem to
just be of the same mind. So with my Marcel wrap, this is the first, I think, shawl that I've like really worked on trying to get a good block, because I feel like my other ones I just wasn't getting it or not doing it right. And I think what really helped is that the lace was on the bottom, so I really wanted that to just blossom and open up. So the tools I used, like, and I'm sure Amanda did the same thing. So for the length across from the top part, I used is this Knit Picks? Is that who it is? Knit Picks blocking wires. I got them from Enid here at the shop, and I'm gonna pull them out, and that way we can pass it all the way down. So Deborah and I were talking about them, and what's cool? What? Hold on to the end. So they're really nice and bendy. So literally whiplash. I know, it would totally hit me in the face. I'm just imagining it right now. So this is going back in. Now I'm scared.
I'm letting go slowly.
Yes, I'm such a klutz. I'm such a klutz. Who knows what might happen? But the blocking wires are really, really cool. There's like a dozen in here. So they're really nice, and you still use the T-pins to kind of hold it together, but this kind of helps block. I was blocking for width, like making it longer, not wider. Wider, not longer.
Making it wider, not longer.
Longer, that's right. Yes. So, because I really wanted the lace part to show
together
off.
now.
So, did you use your...
It's Shark Week, y'all.
I know.
The crocodile rock.
Did you use yours when you were blocking them?
I did not use the blocking wires.
Oh, you did use blocking wires.
I did not use blocking wires.
Okay.
Because I had tension issues on the edge. My edge, where you start
from the tab,
the rows on the right side, coming out from the tab, it was way too tight. And I didn't I didn't pull it out. I thought I had it tensioned well. So I had to be pretty aggressive blocking that. So I did not use the wires. What I did do was I used these suckers, and I just got these yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I did. So
Do you wish you had them?
Well, she blocked it last night.
Oh, you blocked it last
I
night?
blocked it last night, so I
the
used
wide,
these.
and then there's a smaller
Pay attention.
one.
There's like 8 little needle teeth on this thing, right? So then I kind of would put my thing down there and then do this, and I think I used about 10 of them all the way across the shawl. But it kept, when I blocked out the lace points, and if you watch the video, you'll kind of see, I show you where I put these and then how it pulls out the lace. It kept it from doing this along the blocking wires or pulling all that in. If you pull out your points, your edge tends to want to come in on itself. So in order to stop that without having to do blocking wires with a series of pins and then still having to, pin those points out, I just used this. So I think that was pretty successful. I didn't have a whole lot of problems with that.
And these are Knitter's Pride?
These are Knitter's Pride.
These are Knitter's Pride. I got mine, so my sister lives in DC, and so I go up to visit her pretty often, and I usually spend Thanksgiving with her and her family. And my local yarn shop in the DC area is Fiber Space, and on the day after Thanksgiving they have a Plaid Friday sale, not Black Friday but Plaid Friday, and so there's like a big discount on everything in the shop. So I got these at whatever their day after Thanksgiving sale was on. So I was super excited to get them at on sale. So.
I was a really bad knitter. I happened to be surfing Amazon yesterday, and these popped up, and I got 2 sets for $30.
Oh, that's fantastic!
Wow.
Same day shipping?
With same day shipping.
Nice.
And I got another set of blocking
that means they're in a warehouse
mats.
just down the road.
Yeah.
I think we should go raid the warehouse.
So no disrespect to my local yarn shops or any of my other local yarn shops, but
that's a deal you can't pass up.
like I said, it was for 2 sets, and I don't know that I need 2 sets. So you may see these come up again in a future episode.
Something.
Little
But and I have T-pins. T-pins, aptly named because the little points of them form a T, little head. When you block, you want to use a stainless steel pin. Pretty much any sewing pin that you get is going to be a stainless steel pin. So the flower head pins, the little straight pins, there's nothing special really about this pin.
Stainless steel.
You just want to make sure that you're using a stainless steel rust resistant pin, because if you're wet blocking and you have a pin, you stick a pin in there that's not stainless rust resistant, then that pin will rust and that can discolor your yarn.
Yes. I was texting Enid. I'm like, how long do I leave this on the mat? Like, do I leave this for 3 days? Do I
until it's
what
dry.
do I do? And she's like, when it dries, it's done. I'm like,
It's done.
So I had it under a fan and all of that stuff. And
You can also do a dry block if you were to do something that you think you wanted to block, but you didn't think it needed a full
hard
blocking or good washing. You can block it and then spritz it and do I guess it's what you call a dry block.
Is that something you do for the little curlies sometimes when they get curly?
Yeah.
Or would you steam press that? Depends, right? You can't use steam for everything.
You can't use steam for everything. If
but you can steam with a towel on top.
You can steam with a towel on top. If you have it blocked out, you want to make sure that whatever you've got in there is not going to melt. Or if you have it on mats, make sure that your mats are steam resistant. All the mats out there aren't steam resistant and they can melt, and then that would melt into your object. So
very sad story.
My go-to, remember, rust resistant, and I always recommend wet blocking. There's nothing wrong with dry blocking, but if you just needed something quick in between, stretch it out, spritz it, let it lay out. You're
like
probably
for
good
a
to
hat,
go.
I mean, what would you do a dry block for?
Like I said, let's say my points have just gotten they've lost a little bit. I don't necessarily want to. I just want to lay it out and pull my points out a little bit. I could do that and then spritz it just to get that little sharpness back.
That makes sense. So with my socks, I don't, unless I know I've had them like out and about, like all different places and knitting with them. I usually don't give it like a long soak or anything like that, but I'll just put them on the blockers just to give it a little bit of shape.
Socks.
I know socks. I just want to put
weird.
on. Yeah, I just want to put them on and wear them.
I don't block my socks. I feel like when you wear them, you block them. If
That's
you think
true.
that they're really dirty or they have some fragrance to them you want to get rid of, I'd recommend washing them. But as far as blocking, I feel like
my feet are hot enough to block them.
that's something that's done for photographic purposes.
That's true.
It looks pretty on Instagram. It looks
Yes.
pretty on Facebook. They make a lot of really cool sock blockers.
Yes.
And I own some. So no diss on any of that. But if you're photographing it and you want to show off the yarn or the pattern, I feel like that's what the blocking is for. Not for the fit of the garment, because it's a form-fitting garment.
That's true.
So that's my 2 cents.
So I've been kind of excited, speaking of socks and blocking and all of that stuff. I have started throwing my socks in the wash. So, yeah.
In the washing machine?
In the washing machine.
Are you okay?
So I am, and they look good. I don't put them in the dryer. I don't put them in the dryer. But everybody was in shock when I was like, I wash them by hand.
I wash
put
them
them in a
by hand.
bowl. A bunch of people were like, what? Just throw them in the wash.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to throw them in the wash with jeans, but
No.
you know,
Yeah.
just a little.
I put them in one of those mesh bags in
Yeah.
the wash.
Mesh bags.
Mm-hmm. That's a
laundry
good
bag.
one, like for your undies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or else, you know, if you got a bunch, you just small load.
Do a small load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lay them out to dry. Yeah, don't,
Yes.
if you wash, don't dry them.
Don't dry them.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
If you're going to do it on cool. Don't use heat.
Okay.
This summer, it's 100 degrees out. Just don't dry on heat at all, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Put 'em out?
Just
they'll be white.
take your clothes
Yeah.
out of the washing machine, put them on your body, and walk outside. They're dry.
Well, it hasn't been as humid this past couple of days as usual. It's
No.
usually more
They'll
humid.
be dry.
You might get hypothermia. Cool will just, the water will just come off of you so fast. You'd be like, good. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I play one on TV. Look at Enid, got all kinds of energy. Y'all, I took an iron pill this morning, no lie. I've been so narcoleptic. Just exhausted. Last episode I watched it, I'm like, you look so sad. It was all, thank you for seeing its podcast. It's great. Thanks.
I love you guys. Goodness.
I love you guys.
So tired. For real, I took an iron. Because somebody told me, you might be a little anemic. Now I know I should go check myself. But I did a little test today and I feel a lot better. So, it's time. That's a awakening for maybe going and get myself checked. Why I'm a little anemic. Or why I'm feeling a little anemic.
Is it time to go get all that stuff checked?
Yeah, it's that time again. It always is.
What
Get
am I doing?
Philosophical.
That's not as fun to say.
Philosophical. Get yourself checks. Everything. Your blood. Because we're turning that age.
Someone's got a birthday on Wednesday.
I got a birthday on Wednesday.
You do have a birthday on Wednesday.
Yay.
Happy birthday
It's okay.
I'm exhausted, y'all.
Are you?
God, yes.
You just had a birthday.
I just had a birthday
Wednesday. Last Wednesday.
last Wednesday. The kid got up at 6 this morning, and so when y'all sent the offer to come and hang out, we've been here for many, many, many hours this afternoon.
It's been
just
fun.
chit-chatting and knitting, and it's
really
been
fun.
awesome. I got this text around noon, like, hey, we're going to go knit. And I'm like, yes. See y'all later.
I'm glad it worked out.
I'm getting out.
Yeah, so it's been a fun afternoon that we've all been spending together.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Y'all have been having fun. I've been up here dealing with
She was teaching
Mercury,
a class.
Mercury in retrograde nonsense. So my internet phone all crashed. while I was teaching a class and had customers in the store. It was awesome.
Super fun.
What do they say? Your character's defined by how you react in an adverse situation. I was definitely tested today. But I kept a smile on. Thank you for coming. It's a great day. This is for Caleb. It's a great day at the yarn barn. Oh.
She said Kayla or Caleb?
Caleb.
Oh. Hi, Caleb. We're in your living room right now. Right now.
In big TV.
I see you.
On your big TV.
So, I don't have any finished objects at all, but I have been working on my starting point. And last Saturday, we were here at the shop during Amanda's trunk show here. I was doing the twisted rib stitch, and I was kvetching and maybe being a little whiny and maybe being a little dramatic. I don't know. At one point, Enid's like, "Just do it."
What did I say? Knock it off.
You said, knock it off, you big
That's
baby.
what she said. Knock it off is what she told me.
You are not a noob. Stop
Yes.
acting like one.
And then she goes, just knit the knits and purl the pearls. And a light bulb came on in my head.
Good.
Because I never realized I was knitting the knits, nor did I realize I was purling the pearls.
What?
In my ribbing. And how many socks have I done?
4.
I never saw it. I never saw it.
So you were just thinking pattern,
Knit, pearl, knit, pearl, knit, pearl.
Huh.
So when you said that, after you said knock it off,
I meant it with love.
it was all love. There was a customer behind her, and I think they got a little scared. And I'm like, no, it's totally like, this is us. So it's all good.
The look on her face was like, and then we laughed, and she goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So
Here
it
at
was
the
really
yarn
funny.
barn, we custom tailor your encouragement and your knitting tips.
That's so true.
I needed to be yelled at. I need to be yelled at though. I kind of like it. So knit the knits, purl the pearls. So I was talking with Deborah about it, and she's like, "You do that like with socks and with everything." So, so folks, when you do ribbing, some of you may not know this. And then Deborah asked, "Well, do you know how to read your knitting?" And I was like, "When I have to." I don't read it like all the time. And I was like, it's only when I'm like checking to see if I messed something up. So I also like when I do puzzles. So you guys, okay, this is confession time. I've never liked doing puzzles, like, jigsaw puzzles. I was matching them to the picture, not by the shape.
And that would like,
it was just a struggle to do jigsaw puzzles. I never.
But now let's bust one out right here.
Yeah. Well, I still don't like
puzzle.
It.
The puzzle.
Jigsaw
puzzle. And see if your perspective would change.
It has. And when I found that out, I was like, oh wait,
perspective.
Because I was not looking at the shape of the jigsaw puzzle pieces. I was looking at just the pictures.
The face.
I just don't. I have my own way of thinking, guys. So.
That's okay.
But don't we all do a little bit of both?
Yeah, you should be doing a little bit of both. I was just doing one thing.
One or the other.
It's like one or the other. It's like, and just kind of like.
I'm on board now.
Yeah,
my train has
knit
back on
the knits, purl the pearls when ribbing. And it's really funny because everyone's like, oh, I know, knit through the back loop and purl through the back loop. And I'm like, that doesn't bother me so much as just keeping track. So, thank you, Enid. I was able to bust that out real quick, and then I got onto my other shawl and finished that up.
I just knitted through the back loop, by the way.
Right now?
I just thought I'd share.
Knitting through the back loop?
I do it with love.
It's all
I'm glad I could help.
Yes.
I felt a little bad, though, after it.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm not that kind of person.
It's tough love.
Just came out of me.
It's tough love.
Just came out of me.
Scared Straight, the Knitter's Edition.
Scared Straight, the Knitter's Edition. Just bring him over here and be like, knock it off.
They should tell you the gem that you need in order to finish your project. And then you're like, oh my god, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. My glasses got
I have missed you guys.
Aww.
Good Lord.
This is a very laughy podcast. I love it.
Yes.
So what's next? Lisa, no finished objects. That's okay.
That's okay.
I have one, but I can't show it. It's a secret.
It's a test knit.
It's a test knit. So,
when is he gonna launch it?
hopefully at the end of this month.
Well, that's like 3 days from now.
Yeah, so
next podcast, hopefully we'll get to see it.
Next podcast. But, oh, and then look what I brought out, y'all. Remember?
It's been a while.
Ooh.
Jeanette, Elisa. When did we cast these on?
2016.
2016.
2016.
We had a cast-on party. Me, Jeanette, and Enid sat down and started working on our Sherlock Holmes skein of yarn from Night Owl Fibers.
Yes.
Out in Houston.
Sherlock Holmes. And when I brought it out, I was in the middle of, I think I was done with the heel. But you know, sometimes you put a pattern away and you're like, And yes, I could have read the pattern, but my brain was not there.
She kept saying TLDR.
Yeah, too long. Didn't read. So I just frogged it back and started over again. I mean, it's just a sock. It's just this little heel. It's just 32 stitches. Only half my life. No, I'm just kidding. Only 32 stitches in my life. I'm never going to get back. No. Yeah, so I'm now starting on my foot. I'm so happy. I'm back on track.
I feel like we ought to play some Hank Williams for them. Hello, darling. Hello, darling.
It's been a long time. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
All right. My husband will be so proud. Oh my goodness. All righty. So y'all ready? I haven't been knitting, but I've been a little busy.
Beer!
Beer! We've been brewing. So my husband and I, well, it's my husband's hobby. Now has become my hobby because I have to help. I have brought 2 samples today, and this is a Belgian wit.
It's a beautiful color. Look
Really?
how effervescent this is.
Yes. So we bottle conditioned them. We fermented them. Well, these are, I think, 4 or 5 weeks old. And that's pretty good for. So they fermented for about a week, and then we bottled them the next week. So they've been in the bottle for two or 3 weeks now. Oh, it looks good.
Well,
Ready?
I'm thirsty.
Want to try?
So, yes.
Prost.
Cheers.
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 It's a lawn chair. That's not bad. I got the bottom, so I got a little yeasty.
It's good.
Which is okay.
It is good.
This is good. There's almost a little sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our Belgian
It's
wheat.
very light.
Mm-hmm.
Very light. That's perfect.
Like I can probably I know for this weather, just
Perfect.
like look.
Well, there's more. More.
Seriously.
It's really good.
Yay! So I've done, the first thing we did was an Irish red, and my husband won't let me bring that one because he says it's awful. I don't think it's awful. It's just not from, it didn't condition in the bottle, so there's no bubbles. What do you call that?
Effervescence?
Effervescence.
I love that word.
Then the next one we did was this oatmeal.
Carbonation.
Carbonation. Yeah, we conditioned them in the bottles and they didn't carbonate well enough. This is an oatmeal cookie stout, and right before we bottled them, he made a tincture with cinnamon
Ooh.
and raisins in some vodka. And then poured that in with the sugars for conditioning, and then we bottled them. So
That sounds like horchata.
yeah, it's
Even though it's rice,
well,
but whatever.
Kind of tastes like an oatmeal cookie. It's supposed to taste like, smelled like an oatmeal cookie when we were making it. It was delicious.
So we'll get to sample that too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting.
Then we did the Belgian wit, which is what we're trying, and then I did a Hefeweizen. Loosely, he did all the work. I just did the mixing. Put my little finger in it, made it pretty. And then he's doing a pale ale, but that won't be ready for a while.
Yeah, I wanted to try the red, and he's like, no, it's not good.
It's not good.
He was very adamant about it.
I guess what he's waiting for is for it to sit a little bit longer, maybe, and hopefully it'll condition and change.
See if it just takes longer.
I was in Fredericksburg yesterday, which is in the hill country here in Texas, and I have an event for work tomorrow, but yesterday I went to go take stuff up for it, so we're not dealing with it tomorrow. And so I had lunch at the Fredericksburg Brewing Company that's across the street from the venue we're at pretty much. And I was like, man, I'm all sweaty because I was hauling stuff and unloading and moving stuff around. And I said, I'm going to have a beer with my lunch.
Best
so I had
beer ever.
Yeah, so it was a really delicious, it was a red ale that they have and they brew there. So it's always just, it's always nice because like I can just enjoy and look at the color and then just like really enjoy the drink with my lunch. So,
but I guess I'm going to have to put those brew pots aside, honey. Because we have to dye yarn for Yarn Crawl because it's coming up.
Yay. From brew pots to dye pots.
From brew pots to dye pots to brew pots.
So, our friend Shelly, though, Knitting Travels, she and her husband also brew.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're watching Shelly, you have to share with us what's in y'all's brew pots. Because that'd be kind of cool.
She posted it on my she told me on my Instagram, and they don't bottle condition anymore. So she's like, I wish you lived closer because I have lots of bottles. I'm like, I'd love to take them from you. We're running out of space, and one of our freezers broke. The one we ferment in. He keeps it at a 72 degrees for some of the beers, and it died.
Yikes.
So
Well, I can drink whatever you don't have room for.
okay.
I know, we'll work on that. Well, I brought some macarons from Bakery Lorraine, so if you guys want to get one, you're welcome to. We're just talking about the flavors. I don't know if it would be better with the oatmeal raisin, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might. Yeah. So
Shall we?
chug the wit. Just kidding. We drink responsibly with River City Knits. For sure.
That's pretty good. It does have a little bit of a well, not now. It did at the beginning, a little bit of a sulfury smell, but it goes away.
Scott was saying that, and I don't.
You don't smell
I
it?
don't smell
Did
it.
you smell it in this one?
No, I don't.
The last
and I
one
smelled
we had,
it.
the last one we had,
Which is the one
didn't.
that I tried.
This one has a little bit of it, but it might. I don't know. It's just
Being bottled.
Which is the one that we tried?
this one.
This one? Yeah, because Scott was like, it has a sulfur smell, and it was
Or
funny
did you-
because I was like, I was sniffing it, and he's like, you need to smell it. And I was like, chill out, Scott. I got this.
Settle down, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the beer. Don't worry.
A little
I heard it.
A little bit sound.
What else is going on, guys?
Oh, that's pretty color.
Books, movies.
Wow.
Pretty. That's very dark.
Books and movies.
Very like contrast and flavor for sure.
Oh my gosh. Just gonna pick this up so you guys can kind of see. Wow.
I haven't read a thing this summer. I'll be honest.
No.
I've watched a lot of TV. Ooh, if y'all like, I love a good cult documentary. Watch Wild Wild Country on Netflix. It's about the Rajneeshis that took up in Oregon in the early 80s, like the late 70s, early 80s time frame. That's some freaky stuff.
Oh wow.
It's like six parts, about 6 hours. Really, really fascinating. Very interesting.
That's some intense marathon episodes.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
You started watching
What?
Picnic.
I think I've been almost finished it.
Okay.
I almost
What
finished
is it?
season 1. Picnic on Hanging Rock or at Hanging Rock. That is a weird show.
So it's
Is
on.
it a book?
It's
too?
on Amazon.
Amazon
Netflix.
Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime, and so it's originally a book from the 60s, and then 1975 it was made into a movie, and it takes place in Australia. And now it's being remade into.
So this widow buys a mansion. She's got a little weird past that she's kind of running from, and then she's kind of changing who she is. So she bought this mansion and now is teaching like a woman's college. So she's teaching these girls like a finishing school.
Interesting.
And it takes place what? In the 30s?
In the 30s.
Yeah.
But there's some. They go these, and I don't know if this is a true story.
It isn't, but that's what many people.
They make it sound well at the beginning. They kind
It
of
has like a
introduce it
documentary kind of feel.
That during Valentine's Day, these girls went to a picnic, and it was like a field trip out to a picnic for Valentine's Day, and some of the girls disappeared, and they don't know what happened. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
So I'm curious about the show. It's based on a book. But it was also a movie from the 70s.
It's crazy. Like, you have to pay attention. That's one of those like knit stockinette and watch, because you can't. There's no lace knitting with that show.
So I keep saying about the movie from the 70s. So where I work, we do a summer film series called Cinema Tuesdays, and we screen old films, foreign language films, documentaries. And this was a film we screened, I'd say about 2, maybe 3 years ago. So so she mentioned Picnic at Henry Rock. I'm like, what? That's kind of, because it's kind of obscure. I think it's obscure. But then I found out it was actually a series that's on.
Yeah, on Amazon.
On Amazon. So it's kind of cool.
I got some Audibles. I was canceling my Audible, and I had a bunch of points. So I got some books, and I got this one called Something in the Water.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want to listen to a
Something in
book
the
that you love to hate, that's the one.
Well, yeah, because didn't you say you were like yelling at the protagonist?
I'm in my car. People thought, well, maybe, hopefully she's on her Bluetooth. I'll just pretend. I'm like, what's she doing? No, she doesn't need to. I know she did it. Like, I was just yelling in the car.
It's that invisible Bluetooth.
Yes. Or in the driveway.
Yes.
Like, I was in my driveway going, no, you don't need to know. Just move on.
That is a good book, actually. That sounds like a good book.
That's funny. But I know you will have a reaction to that character.
Yeah, so she's suggested that as a book for me to check out.
No, Lisa would be like, I quit that book. That girl was stupid.
Yeah, I probably would just be like, no.
Gosh, I hadn't read a book in a really long time, and I think it was because I was reading a books that I like weren't very good, and I was like, you just gotta move on from that.
Right.
I used to, as a kid, I had to finish it, and now I've got time to waste reading bad books.
Yep, agreed.
So, but then I looked at my Goodreads list, and I got a book called Station 11, which is post-apocalypse, but like 20 years after the apocalypse.
Oh.
So it's not all this like
Right after.
craziness, but it follows like several different, kind of flips back and forth between right after the apocalypse, 20 years after the apocalypse, like during the apocalypse, 20 years after, and then like also before. And it was really interesting, and I don't know, it's good. It's not very, I'm usually a very story, like I need a really engaging story, and it had a story, but it was more like about the characters. So it was good.
Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah. So I am on book 5 of Harry Potter, which I've read a million times, and of course seen the movies. But this time I'm, I think I've mentioned this, I'm not sure, but I'm listening to them on Audible. So I'm participating in Nomadic Yarns Read Along, Knit Along, and you're knitting on one of her yarns, and she has a whole line of Harry Potter inspired colorways. So this is my Luna Lovegood, and it's just really, really beautiful, and I'm enjoying it. I haven't even measured. I should start on the heel now that I see how much I've knit. I've just been knitting this afternoon.
You've done a lot today.
Yeah, actually where the where the progress keeper is what I've knit this afternoon after doing some tinking. Oh, and also
you woven
my ends. So it's a productive afternoon. So yeah, probably should put this down at some point so I can work on the heel. But the Harry Potter books, Jim Doyle's the narrator, and he does really awesome voices. So
He's really good.
Yeah.
I've listened to some
so
of
Professor Umbridge this is where she's at. Professor Umbridge, and you get to see what is the room of requirement. So it's good. It's getting to the good stuff. I'm a big Harry Potter nerd.
Y'all ready to try this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the porter. Not the porter. What is it? The oatmeal.
Oh, were we supposed to wait?
I already
tried it.
Taste it?
Was it good? What do you think?
Yeah, it was good.
It smells like the holidays.
Does it smell like a cookie, or does it smell like coffee? Like
I smell coffee.
I smell coffee.
Yeah.
But like that fresh ground bean coffee.
This is really good.
That's really
Scott, you got another good brew here.
It's like
since
dark,
he
but
watches
it doesn't
our
have that
podcast, I'm sure.
that bitter that sits like on the back of your tongue.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's not the stout.
I feel more
like
chocolate,
stout.
more coffee than oatmeal.
Yeah, it does taste more coffee than smell more coffee than
Yeah.
like a nice coffee.
Yeah, like a really good
Like
one.
a good one, yeah. We're going to enjoy our beers, guys.
So that's it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you, Deborah, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. We haven't melted from the Texas heat. Very
Not
happy.
yet.
Not yet. We still have 3 more months.
Right.
It's only July.
We have until Christmas.
Yes. Maybe Thanksgiving's
July.
hot too.
Yeah.
It gets hot.
February. You know, next summer.
Then we're all crying. It's so cold. It's icy. What do we do?
We're never happy.
No,
Let's be honest. We're never
it's
happy.
true. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.